This podcast is sponsored by the Fireman Moving Company. The Fireman Moving Company is the official moving company of WKU Athletics. Not only can they be trusted to move all the coaches in and out of Western, but they can move you anywhere nationwide. The Fireman Moving Company is owned and operated by firemen and is founded by WKU alumni. If you are looking to move sometime soon, give them a call at 270-791-1755 and get yourself a free quote. Welcome to Topper Talk, your number one Western Kentucky athletics podcast. I'm your host, Stephen Moffitt, and I'm joined by co-host Tyler Bailey. Hilltopper Nation, whether it's happening on the hill or on the road, grab those red towels, stand up and cheer, because it's up next on Topper Talk. All right, welcome back, and thank you for downloading and listening to another episode of the Topper Talk podcast, your number one source for WKU sports news and information. We are the only year-round WKU podcast and the only WKU podcast that covers every sport and every athlete at WKU. We are also a proud member of the College Huddle podcast community, and make sure you follow us on all of our social media platforms. As always, I will suggest the Twitter platform. It is the most frequently updated, kind of live as relevant information and results are coming in. Follow us there. Get all the news as it happens, when it happens. Slide over to our YouTube channel at Topper Talk Podcast. Make sure you're subscribed there. You get a notification every time an episode drops. Hit that thumbs up button. Drop a comment. Do all the things. Share the episode. Share the link with other WKU fans. All the things that we will appreciate. Help the algorithm. Help get the views up. The word out. And as always, I've got Tyler with me. We've got a fresh episode to jump into. A little La Tech preview. You ready?
Yeah, man, it's a new week. Let's leave that bad stuff in the past. Let's move on.
But before we dive into the trip to Ruston, we have to get caught up with our Red Towel wrap-up, which catches us up with all the information we've missed since we last recorded about 8 hours ago. So, Tyler, hit us with that Red Towel wrap-up.
Starting off, we've got WKU baseball. They announced the signing of pitcher Rodney Whaley, utility player Brock Knorr, pitcher Sam Frizzy, and pitcher Declan Francis.
Yeah, the baseball roster continues to fill out, even though we're into mid-October. Thought that would be all settled by now. I'm sure these guys have been on campus, so I just don't know why we've delayed on the signing announcements, but they are being announced. The team is coming into shape. Fall ball is actually actively going on. I think we have a game versus the Evansville Aces tomorrow as we record Friday. They have a game Saturday. So fall ball is here. Getting real excited for when spring ball comes around. The schedule was just released. Really good home schedule and away, obviously, in conference. Real excited for baseball in general to see how Coach Rardin reloaded with talent.
Next up, we got the cross country. They finished their regular season at the Angel Mounds Invitational. 9 Hilltoppers set personal records. The Lady Toppers finished in 7th place, led by Kinley Kunkel in 4th place and Brooke Greenwell in 38th. The men finished in 8th place, led by Jake Younger in 30th, Mikey Carnell in 39th, and Hollis Johnson in 42nd.
Yeah, really good into the regular season for cross country, as the conference meet should be coming up here real soon. To have 9 runners running a personal best, a personal record, that's really awesome. Kinley Kunkel has been solid on the ladies' side. 2 runners in top 50. Men had 3 runners in the top 50. 7th and 8th place finishes for the team. So just really solid meet all around for cross country, and hopefully they carry that over into the conference meet as well.
And then WKU volleyball, they defeated Sam Houston State 3-0 Friday night.
Yeah, just about an hour ago as we're recording, they got the broom out and swept Sam Houston all over Diddle Arena. That is victory number 99 in a row as far as Conference USA regular season matches go, dating back to 2018. Just an impressive streak of games, and they're going for number 100 on Saturday at 1 p.m. If you can make it out, get out, man. If you've never attended a volleyball match, it is exciting. They win a lot. The match is nonstop action going on, and they end fairly quick. I mean, you're in and out in an hour, hour and a half. So it's just a good time. In my biased opinion, I've said that a lot on this show that volleyball is definitely a good spectator sport and one that we need to get behind and support more than we do because all they do is win. Literally, that's what Hudson does.
Well, I'm hoping they make some pretty awesome shirts to recognize that win whenever we get it. And that concludes this week's episode of the Red Tower Wrap Up. Moff, back to you.
Yeah, good stuff as always. Even though we're doing a quick back to back episode from our FIU recap earlier today that we released this afternoon, and now a Law Tech preview that we're doing tonight and we'll release tomorrow on Saturday. But we got to jump into that game preview of Louisiana Tech, which is brought to you as always by our new sponsor, Roof Girl. If you have a leaky roof or shingles detached, faded, or just plain blah, don't call any roof company. Call Paula with Roof Girl, locally owned and operated with over 6 years of experience and a proud WKU alumna. She will work with your insurance company. Give Roof Girl a call today at 270-392-4768 to set up a free inspection and quote. See her work by following her on Roof Girl on Facebook and Instagram. And remember, you're not just calling any roofing company, you're calling Paula, a person who cares for your roof. And a good roof is a roof you can forget about. Again, call or text her at 270-392-4768 to get started today. And now we jump into the Louisiana Tech preview. That game is this coming Tuesday as we remain in the October midweek schedules. Tuesday, October 21st, the game is at Joe Alliette Stadium in Ruston, Louisiana. Kickoff is at 6:30 p.m. The game is being televised on CBS Sports Network. WKU enters the game with an overall record of 5 wins and 2 losses. We have 3 wins and 1 loss in conference play, most recently coming off a loss to Florida International. We want to forget about that when it's over. Louisiana Tech enters this game with an overall record of 4 wins and 2 losses. They have 2 wins and 1 loss in conference play. They're coming off a bye week, which, as I was doing research, this is the third opponent in a row we have coming off a bye week. That's just funny how that played itself out. But a little slight advantage to them coming off a bye week. In their most recent outing, they played and lost to Kennesaw State 35-7 back on October 9th. Louisiana Tech is led by head coach Sonny Cumbie. He is in his 4th season as the head coach at Louisiana Tech, and he has an overall win-loss record of 15 wins and 28 losses, including 10 wins and 17 losses in Conference USA play. Louisiana Tech currently leads the all-time series with 6 wins to 5 losses, including winning last year's most recent game in Bowling Green, Kentucky, which I think we both mentioned on the FIU recap, where Louisiana Tech won an ugly game 12-7. They kicked 4 field goals and we scored 1 touchdown, and they beat us here in Bowling Green. Not a pretty game. I think it was homecoming too. So just not a fond memory at all, especially now coming off an FIU game, which is also kind of in that same not good memory file now. The betting line for this game has not yet been released, but I would expect WKU to be in that 6 to 7 point underdog range. The ESPN matchup predictor gives WKU only a 26.3% chance of winning the game compared to 73.7% chance for Louisiana Tech to win and defend their house. So, Tyler, what are your thoughts on this game? From a 30,000-foot view, obviously coming in off a bad loss, we need to rebound and get back on the right track. How you feeling about it?
Well, this right here is going to be. This time is going to show you what this team is made of. They hit some adversity. So is the team going to come out with fire in their gut and the urge to fight, or are they going to just kind of roll over and be done? I personally think they're going to come out with a fight. It's going to be a hard game. But I was looking over notes, and actually, uh, in the last, the home team has lost the last four straight games, and the underdog is 5-2 straight up in the last seven meetings. So, typically, Ruston is a hard place to win any sport. But if that pattern continues, then we're going to walk out there with a win. But the team is going to have to come ready to play. Offense is going to have to be a whole lot cleaner. Defense is going to have to be ready to defend because, as we're going to talk about, this team is kind of balanced, but so is FIU, and they still ran the ball down our throat. So I think this is going to be a good game, but this is definitely one that we're going to have to show up for.
Yeah, we're going to have to bounce back and play angry, quite frankly. And at this point, both of these teams with one loss in conference play, we don't want to pick up that second loss. It won't eliminate us from the conference championship game, but it'll make it that much harder, and we won't control our destiny. We'll need help from other teams, over the final three conference games of the conference slate. So this is a pivotal game just to maintain and retain those aspirations of playing in the conference championship game. That is the goal. Obviously, if we can win out, potentially hosting that conference championship game. So, still a lot on the table to play for, to fight for, and to hopefully show up and have a better effort than what we saw against FIU. Looking at some of the players to know for Louisiana Tech, starting on their offensive side, always I highlight a quarterback. And as I dove into their quarterback room, this most recent game they played against Kennesaw State, they played three different quarterbacks. They played Blake Baker, they played Evan Bullock, and they played, I can't remember the third guy's name, but they played Q-Kick or something like that was his name. You're probably looking at his name, aren't you? But they played three different quarterbacks. I had to reach out to one of my Louisiana Tech guys. I said, hey, who do I need to know? Who am I highlighting here for this game? Who's going to be the starter? And he said Blake Baker should be back from injury. He's been the starter for most of the season. He supplanted Evan Bullock. He was the starter last season when we played him. So we're going to highlight Blake Baker. He is number 5 on the roster. He is a 6'5", 224-pound sophomore. This season, he is 50 out of 82 passing. That's good for 61% completions. He has 649 passing yards. He has 3 passing touchdowns and 1 interception. He also has 54 rushes for 170 yards with 2 rushing touchdowns. So another mobile quarterback. Baker has also been sacked 9 times himself. The quarterback room as a whole has been sacked 16 times if you look at all their quarterbacks that have played. So quite a bit of sacks being given up there from their offensive line. Looking at their running back to know, it is Clay Thevenin, number 4 on the roster. He's a 5'10", 195-pound sophomore. On the year, he has 61 carries for 263 yards and 4.3 yards per carry with 3 rushing touchdowns. And then I had to highlight their second running back, too, because they really have a two-headed monster. Both these guys have almost the same amount of carries, same amount of touchdowns. So their second running back to know is Amari Wiggins. He is number 22. He's a 5'10", 202-pound junior. He has 57 carries on the season, 225 yards, a 3.9 yard per carry average, and he also has 3 rushing touchdowns on the season. So just a really solid two-headed monster there at running back that I think we're going to have to get familiar with real quick because something tells me we are going to be introduced to them over and over this coming Tuesday. Their leading receiver is not a wide receiver. It's actually a tight end. It is Eli Finley. He's number 84. He's a 6'6", 244-pound junior. On the season, he has 17 catches for 252 yards. He does not have a touchdown, but he has 14.8 yards per catch on average. So definitely is a weapon over the middle, getting them down between the 20s. And then apparently they, prefer to rush the ball into the end zone, it appears. Their leading wide receiver is Devin Gandy. He is number 1 on the roster. He is a 6'1", 191-pound senior. On the season, he has 13 catches, 188 yards, one touchdown, and he has 14.5 yards per catch on average. So both him and Eli over 14 yards per catch, big play threats, averaging a first down per reception. Pretty solid. As a team, the Louisiana Tech offense is averaging 24.8 points per game. Nothing that's going to blow you away. But when we talk about their defense, it's more than enough to win ball games. Their offense averages 164 passing yards per game, and they average 146 rushing yards per game. Really balanced, like you mentioned earlier. Nice mix of pass and run. They on the season they have 55 rushing first downs, and they have 37 passing first downs, and they also are converting on 36.05% of their third down conversions. To me, this looks like a tough test of a team that's going to lean on the run and then use that run to open up that pass to that big tight end and that wide receiver, guys that are going to, if they have favorable matchups, due to their rushing success, could be another long game. Tyler, how do you think this offense is going to stack up against our defense?
Well, I don't remember us playing a team that really relied on their tight end as one of their top receivers. Typically it's always a wide receiver out there, so that is going to be something interesting to watch. And you're right, I was looking up that quarterback's name, that Kukic. That's a fun one to say. But he's also a runner too if he does get in. He's got 26 carries for 106 yards, no touchdowns. But La Tech's is a good team. Granted, they're right behind us in the standings. But I think our defense, as long as we can shut down or at least contain the run and make them pass the ball, I think our DBs are going to be good. We this season we've had good luck with the DBs. Breaking passes up. So the guys are just going to have to be sure whenever they're running downfield, turn their head and look for the ball instead of just locking in on that receiver and getting a pass interference call like it's been our Achilles heel. But yes, defense is going to have to strap up and be ready to go to war on this one.
Yeah, I'd agree. Not overly scared about them offensively. Of course, I feel like I said that about FIU too, and we see how that turned out. But this defensive side of the ball that we're about to highlight and talk about the players to know, this side of the ball is aggressive and is impressive. As I dove in and saw the stats, I mean, they're a solid and aggressive group. And they just so happen they lost their main defender, their leading he's still their leading tackler. I think he's missed the last two games. His name's Kobe Fields. Not going to highlight him, but just worth noting, he's missed 2 games and he's still their leading tackler. So I had to skip over him, go down to their next guy, which is defensive back Jacob Fields. He is a 5'11", 188-pound junior. On the season, he has 38 tackles, 21 of those are solo, and 3 passes defended. And then they have linebacker Makai Mason. He is number 9 on the roster. He's a 6'2", 231-pound junior. On the season, he has 35 total tackles. 15 of those are solo and 3 quarterback sacks. And then another linebacker to be aware of is Sifa Leota. He's number 42 on the roster, 6'3", 229-pound senior. On the season, he has 33 total tackles. 10 of those are solo, half a sack, 1 interception. And then diving into this defense as a whole, this is the best defense in Conference USA. This is one of the better defenses in all of the nation, in all the NCAA, especially at creating turnovers, creating havoc, and scoring off those turnovers. For the season, they have 11 sacks as a team. They have 11 interceptions as a team. They have 5 forced fumbles, and they have 5 defensive touchdowns in 2025. That's in 6 games. They're 5-1, I believe it was. So they're solid. They are number 8 in the NCAA in turnover margin with a +6 turnover margin. They are number 21 in the nation in scoring defense allowed. They're only giving up 17.7 points per game, and that's coming off a game they just gave up 35 to Kennesaw State. So that got run up just a little bit. They're also the number 26 run defense in the nation, allowing just 106.3 yards per game. But they are the number 112 pass defense in the nation, allowing 249 passing yards per game. So if they have a weakness, it's on the back end and allowing some passing yards. But again, I feel like a broken record because we just said some of these same things about FIU, and we saw how that turned out. It turned out at 6 points. Didn't turn out great. I'm trying to be over it. I'm flushing it away. It's actively being flushed right now, but I'm just having deja vu as I read these stats. So Tyler, how is this defense going to match up with our offense?
If there was ever time for our wide receivers and running backs to be great at catching balls out of the backfield and catching balls down the field, hitting in space, this would be it. With the run defense team like that, I mean, I think our guys can run angry and be able to break. I mean, and get loose. If you get around the edge and get gone. But I think our bread and butter of this game is definitely going to be the passing game. And they know we're good at passing. They're going to drop 7, 8 guys. So Maverick better be ready. And hopefully he's forgotten about last game, and hopefully our guys break free and give him a good target to throw at. Because if they're giving up 249 yards, and I've looked at some of the teams that they have played, I feel like we should be able to kind of get more than that. Hopefully we get close to our average. But not this. I think the offense better be ready for this game.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. I think that's going to be an understatement. This is going to be a tough game, and it's going to say a lot for how this season is going to turn out over the last 4 or 5 games of the season that we have guaranteed to play. Is how do we respond to the FIU game? How do we come out? Do we play angry? Do we play crisper? Do we just have more intentionality, attention to detail, better execution? I think all those things are going to happen to have a good chance of winning this ball game on the road as a pretty big underdog, more than likely. Usually, I don't highlight a special teams player for the other team, and you probably have kicker information, but I am going to talk about their punter just because as I was looking over NCAA stats where they ranked in scoring, etc., I did see that they also have a really good punter as far as net average goes. Cole Maynard's still number 1 in the nation, over 50 yards per punt, but their punter was not very far down the list, the number 16 punter in the nation, and he's only a sophomore. John Hoyt Chance is averaging 46.3 yards per punt. Just a really, really solid punter for only being a sophomore. So that's, hopefully this game turns into the battle of the punters. I don't know. Maybe we get 3 and outs all day and it turns into a punting and field goal contest game, like the FIU game started out. So that's all I've got for special teams. I'll let you talk about the kickers when we get into this parts down here. But we're going to jump into some keys to victory, Tyler. This is going to be a tough one, and I think all these keys and probably going to be keys that we've been harping on for several weeks now. I'm willing to bet. But what is going to be your first key to victory versus La Tech?
So I kind of went a different route. I didn't go. I think what yours is going to be. Mine is finish drives. We left too many points off the board during the last few weeks, and honestly, it'd be great to be able to get into the end zone, or at least walk away with some points after each drive.
Yeah, I'm going to throw you a curveball as well. My first key to victory is going to be take care of the ball. This is a defense that thrives on turnovers and chaos and forcing fumbles and interceptions and converting those turnovers, more importantly, into points. So we could be driving down, Lord willing, getting near the end zone, about to punch in for 6, and they can take something the other way, and that's a huge momentum swing. That's a 14-point swing from 7 in our favor to 7 in their favor if it goes down that way. So We know that they're going to be after the ball, punching at the ball, stripping at the ball. If the ball's in the air, they're going to try to tip it. They're going to try to intercept it and give the ball back to their offense. We have to take care of the ball. That has to be priority number one. Is value the football and possession and just good, running the ball, good contact to your body, to your arm, to yourself. Has to happen. If we're loose with the ball, making poor throws, it's gonna be another long night in Ruston. Don't want that to happen. Tyler, what's your second key to victory versus La Tech?
It's going to be contain the run. That's been our Achilles heel, and not just this. Kind of goes in the same thing. But if we get pressure back on the QB, it happened during the Missouri State game, happened during the FIU game, where we couldn't get to him or sack the QB or at least get a hand on him and hit his throwing arm. They have extended the plays, and that includes FIU. Whenever we was back there, and we had him dead to rights. He went forward and just kind of threw a little floater to one of his guys downfield. So we've got to contain the run and force them to throw the ball and force them to hopefully make mistakes.
Yeah, my second key to victory is going to be squarely on the shoulders of Maverick McIver. I'm looking at Maverick. I'm looking at a seventh year senior that's going to be going into a hostile environment on the road. A player who's coming off his worst game, um, definitely at Western Kentucky. 3 interceptions, no touchdowns, 160 ish passing yards. How's he gonna respond? He's been talked about all off season and early this season about his preparation for teams, for games. And now it's time to see some resiliency, what his bounce back looks like. You're going to have bad games. This is sports. Sports teaches you way more than wins and losses. It's about how you handle adversity as much as anything. And this adversity is losing a tough game to FIU and not playing well. He wants to be the next in a lineage of great WKU quarterbacks. We've got to see some better play out of the quarterback position, and it's been subpar. It's been average for several weeks. A lot of that we attributed to some tough defenses that we played in Nevada, Missouri State, Delaware. But at some point, you have to break through that and overcome that, and utilize the weapons around you and make good decisions, and go win a ball game. So I'm looking at Maverick. I need Maverick to step up and be the QB1 that we know he can be and help lead us to victory. Tyler, what is your third key to victory versus La Tech?
I don't know how you stole my notes. I don't know if you got a camera over here and you watching me write it, but protect the ball. We've had way too many interceptions or way too many turnovers. Last game, and you're right. La Tech is great at getting the ball away from the offense, and we just gonna have to be sure-handed with it. You can't be making bad passes into double, triple coverage because they're probably going to bracket the like the 1 and 2 wide receiver. So you're going to have to probably do a few check downs. Um, Running backs, whenever they get the ball, you're going to hug that ball and be strong with it and just run right into somebody's mouth with it. Because turnovers, just another chance for them to score, takes points away from us. So we're going to have to protect the rock.
Yeah, speaking of stealing notes and copying notes that we don't share for this, my last key to victory is going to be finish drives with points. Not empty drives that end with punts. Not empty drives that Cole Maynard comes out there and flips the field. We saw last year's 12-7 game. We found the end zone once and we kept them out of the end zone. How often do you keep a team out of the end zone, hold them to 4 field goals, and you lose that ball game? We just saw that they lost 35-7 to Kennesaw State. They're not an offense that's going to blow you away with on the offensive side. They're not going to boat race you to, first to 30 plus is going to win the game. That's not their MO. That's not what they want to do. They want to grind you down tough defensively, and it's going to be a low scoring ball game more than likely. So every point that we can manufacture, whether it's 3 whether it's 6, whether it's 2 via a safety. I don't care what it is. They're all going to be crucial to go in there and pulling the upset. So not every drive, but we need to maximize the points that are available to us and get them on the scoreboard. Tyler, who's going to be your MVP versus Louisiana Tech?
I'm going to go Maverick this week. He's QB1. He's a field general, and we're going to need him to get back to his old ways and have that strong composure out there. So I'm going to run with Maverick.
Yeah, I'm torn. I think Maverick's a really good option. I think he's should be the most valuable topper. I think I'm going to go with him as well. I thought about taking a skill guy, Marvish or Katie Hutchison, somebody that's helping us manufacture drives and move the chains and get down into territory where we can score those points. But if any of those guys have success, it's going to come off the arm of Maverick McIver. So I think Maverick and him being my number 2 key to victory, a little pressure added to him. I hope that makes diamonds. That's what we need. So give me Maverick McIver. I think he needs to bounce back and have a good game and lead us to victory. Now the all important part, Tyler, a score prediction. What you got and who you got winning against Louisiana Tech?
All right, so we're coming up. La Tech, strong defense. So we're going to be below 30 points. We're going to be 27. We're winning the game. It's 27-21. Tops when you win, we lit, baby. Woo!
Well, I hope you're right. And I'm flipping the script in multiple ways. One, I've had to talk myself off the we can score more than 30 points ambition. We're not getting to 30 points. That's not happening. If we get there and I'm wrong, I would love to be wrong, and I think we will win this game if we get to 30 points. I also This was a game that in the preseason I had marked down as a loss. I had Toledo, Louisiana Tech, and LSU being losses. 9-3 was our likely record. I've not seen anything through 7 games from both of these teams that make me think maybe I need to reconsider that. So I'm going to be a little tried and true, stick to my preseason guns. That this is a game that we likely go and lose during the Helton tenure. I think it's going to be a close game, a dogfight, maybe a last second field goal, maybe a last second touchdown, but I've got Louisiana Tech winning 24-21. Low scoring ball game by all means, but high scoring compared to last year's game. But still a better performance than what we had last week. So I don't often project a loss, but I'm going to stick to my preseason prediction, and I don't remember exactly what I had penciled in, but a loss was what I felt then, and I think being tried and true to that, I'm just going to stick with it. Prove me wrong. I hope I am wrong. I hope we recap it and I say, hey, how about them tops? They won. We are lit. I hope I am so wrong, because I still think that this team can win every ball game left on their Conference USA schedule. I've put that on our message board. I put that on Twitter. I also think we can lose every game left on our schedule if we don't show up and play better football than we have played the last couple weeks. So it's kind of put up or shut up. Show me what you got in the tank. Show me how you're going to bounce back. They bounced back from a tough Toledo loss with 3 straight grinded out victories. Defense did enough, bend don't break. Offense did just enough to win some ball games. The running game stepped up. Now we're kind of reset back to square one. Another tough loss. How do we respond? All 3 phases of the ball. Special teams is going to ball out. How are offense and defense going to step up and complement each other? Offense continuing drive so the defense can sit on the sideline and rest. Defense minimizing Louisiana Tech's points and opportunities, so that the offense doesn't have to go score 30 plus to win a ball game. I think it's going to be low scoring, whoever wins, but I can't talk myself out of Louisiana Tech winning this game as the favorite at home, and really putting us behind the eight ball as far as those championship game aspirations, and needing help down the line, down the conference schedule to make it back to that game. It's going to be a tough one. But again, I hope I'm wrong. I'll be tuned in. I'll be watching. I'll be supporting the Tops. I'll be wearing red. I'll be watching all 60 minutes, no matter how the games play out. Going to be there supporting regardless. Not going to let a loss, um, in conference, a disappointing loss, not going to let that turn my fanhood off. I'm here to support the Hilltoppers, win or lose, ugly or pretty. I'm supporting these teams, coaches, athletes. That's what they need. They deserve our support. Bailing just because they lose a game, I think that's a bad look. If you were an athlete performing, you'd want to see some fans in the stands supporting you, especially when the times get rough. That's when you need the most support, not when you need the least support. So, I hope they turn it around. There's still a lot of ball to play left this season. That's the crazy thing is we still got 5 games to play, guaranteed 5 games, and then hopefully a bowl game, maybe Conference USA championship. Who knows? Could be 7 games. So, looking forward to it. It's going to be a tough one. We know that. Louisiana Tech's a good, tough defensive team. They're balanced on offense. They're going to test us in our run defense. It's going to be tough. But we can grind it out and hopefully keep it close and, give ourselves a chance in the fourth quarter. Who knows? Anything can happen. Um, but I'm going to keep it a loss. It is what it is. Tyler, hit us with your final words and take us on out of here.
All right, so starting off with their kickers, it's plural. They got place kickers Drew Henderson. He actually missed an extra point this season, but the field goals he made is 4. He's attempted 5. He is good up until the 40 to 49 yards. His long is 37. And then that's when they bring in John Hoyt Chance. His long field goal he's only kicked 1 field goal, no extra points, and his long is 55 yards. So their punter has a leg on him, but hopefully we don't get into a kicking game with them. I still think we'd win it if we did, but yeah, I'm not going to let one game define the season. It was a bad game. Every team has them. Every team has a hiccup. You look at some of the best teams, they lose. If you look at some of the best upsets, it's always to a G5 opponent, to a P5. Earlier this year, Alabama lost to FSU. So yeah, I'm not going to let one bad game turn me off. I'm here to stay for the Tops. But with that said, they are going to step up and show me something this week. But I'm with you on this one. They can win every game left in the Conference USA schedule, and they can lose any. But I think our best football is ahead of us. So I'm still here for it. Going to cheer them on. Going to be wearing red. Going to be watching the whole 60 minutes. Going to be yelling, and I may probably have to watch it by myself because I don't want my wife or my son to hear some of the things that I may say. It's going to be all good. So with that, I'll say, Moff, who has it better than us?
Nobody, buddy. You know it.
Go Tops, y'all.
Go Tops. Later, guys.
See you.